Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Women Helping Women Win at Life. I have another amazing lady here for you today, talking to us all the way from Michigan in the United States. This is Marie Adell, and I'm so excited that you're here today. She's a human design consultant, and she's going to be sharing her story with us today. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Sinéad. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. I'm based in Sydney in Australia. And if you would like to be a part of this Women Helping Women series, please get in touch with me. You can send me an email at thetransformationpractice.com.au. We love having different women from all over the world just coming on here, helping to inspire one another with their unique gifts, talents, and experiences. So welcome, Marie. Hi, so good to have you.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for spending the time to be here. And yeah, we've both got dogs, so you might hear them in the background. Sorry about that. Oh, cute. So cute. So, Marie, tell us, I've heard about human design before. And I think I may have done a little one of those quizzes online, but there'll be a lot of people watching this that don't know what a human design consultant does. So, can you explain a bit about that?
Yeah, I just, explain it as that we know what Myers-Briggs is, or like the DISC assessment or an Enneagram. So it's a personality test that, is exactly that way, and not really a test, but an assessment. And the only difference is, and the reason why I love it so much, is that it is personal exactly to you. No one else is going to have the same chart design as you do. It's like at your genetic core, like who you are. And not that you are your design, it's that it's there for you to be able to live through as like a vehicle. We all have this our conscious, which is our backseat driver, I call, in our head, that's constantly telling us, what to do and where to go, and how often is it incorrect, right? So human design helps us to get back into our body as the rightful driver in there, and really learn how to pay attention to ourselves and our intuition, and that higher self connection.
Wow, that sounds amazing. I mean, I'm super into like astrology, horoscopes, like personality types, disc assessments. Like I just believe in like know thyself. Like if you know how you process information, whether you're a visual, auditory, kinesthetic person, like the more you know yourself, the easier it is to get through life, right? Because you know how to handle things. But in
Yeah.
human design, like what are the sort of different types? Like can you explain a bit about your own human design? Like
Mhm.
what are your strengths and weaknesses?
Yeah. So, well, there's like four different auras types, and there's a generator or a manifesting generator. And in general, every design has a strategy that they work within. And when you operate within your strategy and your authority, so there's like two words that I'm just going to throw those out there, and but when you operate within those, then you have this decision making process that, how much energy do we put out in second guessing ourselves, third guessing ourselves, fourth guessing ourselves, because we're not really able to tune in and listen to ourselves. And so, this strategy that each aura has is able to really help you to be much more certain about your decisions. And for some people, like, they get it so well that they're like, nope, I don't even doubt myself ever. Like, no doubts about any decisions that I'm making. And so, like, they're preserving that energy to be able to use for their day. So there's generators, and generators, their strategy is to like wait for things to come to them so they can respond to life. And so everybody always gets kind of confused about that. They're like, well, what does that even mean, to wait? Am I just supposed to sit here like a bump on a log, or what? So No, it means, when you get out of bed in the morning and your feet hit the floor, like you start responding to life, right? Like you respond to the temperature. Oh, I need to get my slippers on or my robe on. You respond to your need for coffee. You respond to the call of nature. There's opportunities all around for response. And it's the initiating that tends to get generators in trouble. So if they push for things to happen or push for projects to go forward or try to initiate things, then they get a lot of friction. And so then comes like frustration around that. So that's generators, but their work is their gift to the world, basically. So then there's projectors, and their strategy is to really just, wait for their qualities to be recognized or invited into things. So they have this wait for the invitation kind of a thing. But it's equally important for them too to recognize that it's the right invitation in life. And so there's a strategy around, that for them as well, and using their authority to be able to decide when is it the right time for them to, respond to this invitation that someone has initiated for them. And projectors are quite magnetic. People are just drawn to them naturally. And so they pull people in that way. So they don't need to worry about that people aren't going to recognize their gifts. They're there. They're just these magnetic people. And so their gift is, to really understand and be a guide in life. They're these great organizers, and they know 10,000 people, and they have this amazing network. So manifestors, their strategy, which I'm a manifester, and it's really just to inform others of their decisions before they act. And this eliminates the resistance that comes around it. And I always, like, whenever I learned that I was a manifester, and I think back to all the times in my life that I tried to go by the phrase of it's better to beg for forgiveness than ask for permission. And I got in such trouble all the time. And I was like, what is this crap phrase? Like, seriously, because every time that I would try to just do something and then like say I'm sorry later, it seemed like I would get into 10,000 times more trouble than had I just, said like, look, this is what I'm doing. So yeah. And, their gift is like that gift of initiation. We're designed to have this powerful impact and be this initiating force for the other auras. So, just say, look, here, this is the way that it is, and put it out there, and then move on. And so famous for not worrying about the little details, but rather seeing the big picture, which is very much fitting for me. And then the fourth is reflectors. And reflectors are very interesting. They're only 1% of the population in the world, and a little over, it's like 1.4%. And they have this strategy of they need to wait a full moon cycle before they make a decision, because then they will know that that decision is correct for them. And that's a really awful long time to wait, right? But that's what helps them the most. And that's before making, any major decisions. And so they're really designed to be the judges of humanity and to reflect back any injustices that are happening in society. And so their gift is, kind of their ability to be able to discern like this and that, this from that, this, how this operates and how that operates, kind of a thing. So it's quite fascinating. And it's, there's so much more to it than that. That's really just kind of like the teeny tiny tip of the iceberg. But I just, wanted to give you a little taste of every single person and how they operate.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for going so deep. It is really fascinating to hear. And how would you say that you found that human design has changed and benefited your life? Like, how has that awareness like helped you in your story? And tell us a bit about your experience with it.
My dogs are both going nuts. I think there's someone outside. Oh, look at him. Oh, he's so cute. Oh, Yeah. So, when I first found out about human design, it was one of those curiosity things. I was just like, it piqued, and I'm this very logical left brain kind of person. Like I have always been this research nerd. I have 4 degrees, that kind of a thing, and just am always constantly reading, medical journals and research papers and things like that to, push myself forward and be on the edge of my career and what I do. And so when I heard this, it was just an instant like radar. Like I was like, okay, I need to do this. I know I need to do this. And then like I put it out there that I was interested in it. And then literally 3 weeks later, I saw this course that was available for it. And so I went into like this intensive incubator. It was like almost 60 hours, this course. And, just really like dove deeply into it. And the interesting thing is that I know far more about other people's designs than I know about mine, which is very fitting in my design. Like I'm more curious about what other people are and what they're doing than my own. And so I'll forget sometimes like what's in mine and I'll need to go back. But the very like first few things that I learned about my design, like the number one word that I can think of was just relief. It was like this pressure valve went off in my head and it was just like I could exhale for the first time and I don't even know how long. Like it was just so affirming to me and gave me this self-assurance, this confidence that I didn't have before because I had been a teacher for almost over 20 years. And moving into the space of online coaching, it's not like online coaching is different from my teaching because I operated on that same, I wasn't like giving facts and information. I was more of like ask the questions and get the answers kind of a teacher. And so it was just very, like I can't even explain to you just the relief that flooded through my body to know that I was headed in the direction that I was meant to be headed in, because it pulls on like the Kabbalah and it pulls on the I Ching and it pulls on astrology and all of those things. And like it's incredibly important where the planets were and where the stars were and all of these things when you were born, like this pull that the universe has on you. And being energetic beings, like it's not this fluff thing. It's this amazing extra tool that we have to be able to use to truly understand ourselves. And people immediately recognize themselves in their design. And as soon as they start applying the strategies in their design, just like I did, you see immediate results from it. And it's just this crazy like self-reckoning almost. Like it provides like this massive catalyst in change in you and the way that you think about yourself. And I just like it's such a gift, like every single time that I get to provide that for each client that I work with. Like I get such an elated high after I work with someone because I can see how it clicks with them and I can see the relief that they get and then I can see themselves carrying themselves taller and prouder, like after they realize like, hey, this is I have this blueprint that I can move forward, and it's so exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds so incredible. I think when I did the test, I was a manifesting generator, and I remember reading up about it, and I was just like, "Whoa!" Like, it's so true. Like these things are so ringing true to me. And I think if you can really be aware of why you do the things you do and how you do the things you do in life, you can really start to like just pay a bit more attention and figure out how your strategy is working for you and how you might need to like tweak it a little bit. I mean, you can tell me more. What kind of clients do you work with? Like, what has this human design consultancy route? Where is it taken you? Like, who can you help in this group of women, for example?
Yeah, I mean, it's taken me all over the place, honestly. And in particular with moms, I had just finished up a beta, so which means that like I've gotten some research and gotten some information back from it, and it's truly amazing what the moms were able to do, with the information that they learned about their children. But basically, I just had the mom's chart, and I shared with her and coached her through a few things that were in her chart, and then also took her children's charts and pulled a few things out of there to help her understand her children's personalities and gifts. And then, combined all of that together, but also like coached her on that family dynamic and how that works, because it's almost like an overlay. So, you might have certain places on your chart that are emphasized more than another. So it's based off your chakra system as well. And so there are parts that are colored in and there are parts that are not colored in. And the parts that are not colored in, we call them undefined. And that is the areas in which we get conditioned in life, right? And so, we tend to think of conditioning as like this dirty word. Like I'm my own person. No one, but we're not an island, right? And so everything that comes into us, whether it serves us or whether it doesn't, is conditioning. And so we're able to take those areas that we're most conditioned in and actually learn lessons from them. And then we're able to truly have like almost these superpower gifts in those areas once we become more aware of how we can utilize them and become wise in them and help other people with them. And so in a family, you might have some, one in the family that has a couple of areas that are defined and then a few areas that are not defined. But then maybe the other person in the family has some of those areas defined that are not defined in the other person. And so they are influencing or conditioning the other people in the family through that. And just being aware of that dynamic and that interplay in between siblings and between you as the parent. It can explain why your child does annoying things. It can explain why, you feel like, emotionally overwhelmed around them, or they, seem to act out emotionally like you might be a little upset and then they take it to like 10x. So there's all these different things that are right in the chart. Like you can see exactly what it does for that family dynamic, and how to move forward as a family, and really understand each other at that genetic level.
Wow, that's so complex, but it really does give you some kind of comfort to think you don't just have to be subject to a life of chaos in your house and your family unit. There's so many people out there that just think, well, this is how it is, like having kids and having a job or whatever, like this is just frantic for me and this is how it's going to be because they're kids or because they're teenagers or because that's the way it is. I guess it just gives you that bit of control back, right, to be able to piece things together, look at how they're working deeply, and then create something beautiful out of that awareness.
Yeah.
So how do you work with people? Can you work with people on Zoom? Like I bet there's so many
Yeah.
women here who are interested in working with you, so tell us how we can.
Yeah. So I have a calendar, and like you can friend me on Facebook, and I also have a moms group, and I'll pass those links on to you, and just get a hold of me that way. I'm also on Instagram, sort of. But yeah, you can always send me a message, and it'll take me like a couple of days to pop in there. But if you're mostly Insta savvy, then you can reach me there as well. And yeah, I can pop in my calendar link. We can set up a time that works out for you. And I just need like maybe, if it's with children as well, then I need like a few days, because I do like a deep dive into the chart. But I also, I have other programs too that are longer, where we can take that time to dig into the charts, and then also work through a lot of you know the underlying issues that might be surrounding the chaos as well. Because knowing your human design is one thing, and then really truly being able to like pull in like the laws of the universe to help you with that, to move in the direction of parenting that you would like to, and or just really being able to be present with yourself, and not constantly in the future or worrying about what's going to happen, and being able to pause in that moment and focus in on your children. So there's several different programs that I have that are available. So they're excellent little guard dogs. They're teeny tiny chihuahuas.
Oh, that's so cute. I know.
Yeah.
The smaller the dog, the more noise they make.
I know, like it's that whole Napoleon complex, right? Yeah. So there's several different programs that I have available. And if you just pop in and chat, or even if you just want to kind of ease in and become a part of the group, and really just be in that ethos. We are the sum of the 5 people that we hang around with the most. And so if we have 3 kids and a spouse, that's 4 right there. And if we're around them the most, and there's chaos going on, then it stands to reason that we're going to have chaos within ourselves. And so if we have another place to go to kind of really level out and calm, then it's helpful in that journey, that parenting journey. And the human design, it's when we say they don't send us home with a blueprint from the hospital on how to raise this thing, right? There is a blueprint, a human design. Like it's very, very helpful in that, and helping you understand your child's personality. So and that's everything too, understanding yourself and understanding your children.
That's so cool. So guys, like Marie works with also different types of people, moms, coaches. She's got like 3 session packages that you can like hop in with her, find out what your human design is. If you're a coach, I know that I've got some coaches in this group and you're running a program. Every coach needs a coach. I have a coach. Marie has a coach. It's always good to have someone helping you along the way. And I think that her program just sounds incredible, with helping you to have some self-awareness. So when the challenges come up, knowing how to cope with those. Tell us about some of your success stories, Marie, and also just tell us about the group as well. You mentioned a group on Facebook that these guys can get involved with as well.
Yeah. And so, when I think of successes, it's a very interesting topic, that an interesting word, and that it's a ring a bell kind of word. And I think, as moms and high achieving moms in general, we have like this need and this sort of false costume that we put on, that we have to be this perfect thing, right? And when we're not able to do all of the things that we wish to do, then we have this like blame, shame, guilt spiral that we fall down. And so when you say what are some of the successes that you've had? For a very long time, I was of the frame of mind that I didn't have any successes, that I couldn't see my successes that I was having in life, and it was just one more thing that I had done, And part of that is the manifestor in me, because like I do it and I move on, like it's just like that's it, But part of it is that growing up in a childhood that was not exactly supportive and caring and loving. And so, just feeling like I couldn't even breathe without it being the wrong way, And so that carries a deep impact. And it led to me kind of like, pushing and doing a lot of different things. And so some successes in my life, could be that I have 4 degrees. Successes in my life could be that, I had always wanted to travel, and I up and moved and lived overseas for almost a decade, and, traveled around to different places and taught. Success could be, that I've literally worked with hundreds of children and their families, and, had such amazing feedback from them on what an impact that I've helped, to make in their child's life and in their family's life. It could be that, I have a beautiful daughter and, a wonderful husband and a life around that. It could be that, I have an actual speaking civilly relationship with my ex-husband, where that wasn't the case when that first happened. So I've certainly had like this colorful life. And at the same time, when I'm able to really look back now and even moving into the coaching world and the successes that come with that and the highs, I just had one of my moms that I work with sent me a voicemail, and she was crying, and she was just like, I love myself now. Like, I didn't think that was ever going to happen, and I love myself. And I said this to my husband, and he said this, and I couldn't even believe it. And where she couldn't even talk to him about her feelings when she came into the program, felt like she was this bother and this nuisance, and that he worked so much harder, and all of the stories, all of the things, and just to see her now, being able to go out for girls' night once a week and practicing her music again, where she had given it up, and just bringing joy back into her life, and how it's impacted her as a mom, and the fact that she really truly loves herself. It's that right there, of any success, I can't even describe the expansiveness that I feel when a client comes to me with something like that.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, and then for the group, group,
how can we be around you more? I just love your energy.
Yeah. So, just the group is called Moms. Well, right now it's called Moms Stop Losing Your Shit and Grow You, right? And the shit, it stands for superheroes in training, right? Because we're all just superheroes in training. We're not these, mythological creatures. We don't have to be a superhero, right? Superheroes exist in all forms, all shapes. And really, it's about being a superhero to ourselves first. That idea of, that the airlines say, put your mask on first when the plane is going down. You need to put your mask on first so that you can help other people, so that you can help, that energy is able to, then spread out to other people in your family, your children, your spouse, that kind of a thing. But it's not selfish to take care of yourself first. And I think so many moms, we get in that role and we just completely lose ourselves in who we are. And we even define ourselves by those roles. I am a mom, I am a wife, I am a daughter, I am this and that. Well, actually, you're a soul and a being of light first, and so getting back in touch with that, and, just tapping back into there and realizing that you have all you ever need inside of you. You have those tools in you, and just really bringing those out again. And so that's what I strive to do in the group, is to create that atmosphere in there. So that way you have a place to come, to reflect, to grow. And at the end of February, I'm going to start a separate part of the group where we meet together on Zoom, and it'll be a paid, program, but it will be inexpensive enough that anyone can, just, pop in and pay the yearly fee for it, and access, once a week, these meetings. Because if anything, a coach isn't about the strategies. It kind of is, but really it's about being in that energy, and having that person that is a cheerleader that's there for you when you're not able to be that cheerleader for yourself, until you can get to that point. And then boom, you can go. It's not about being dependent upon someone for the rest of your life. And you can do that once you're in that environment, and a safe environment, one that you feel like you can grow in.
Oh, that sounds amazing. And I will make sure that I drop all these links as well for Marie. And you guys, you can request Marie as a friend. You can join her group. We'll put all the links underneath. what finally, to finish off the interview, I mean, this series is called Women Helping Women Win at Life. And I always ask our contributors, you know, like, what advice would you give to other women in this group across all your learnings, all of your degrees, your background in, you know, neuroscience and human design, and all the things that you've learned as a mother, as a wife, as a woman? What advice would you give to women in the group right now that might be struggling?
Yeah, I mean, like again, like all of those things mean nothing if we're not in touch with ourselves first.
Mm.
We can do all of the things in life. And if we don't truly see ourselves for who we are, like really truly see ourselves for who we are, and love even the bits that like we feel are unlovable, like that those are part of being us, part of being that human being living in this, you know, human body. We are this spirit that we're growing, right? We're growing, and that's what we're meant to do here in life. And being able to look at every failure as a success, and you know, that way forward, and um, just loving ourselves where we're at. And it can be so difficult to do that to start with. It's easy to say just just do that, just do this, you know, but it's initially that step, that first step forward. And so, like, I would just say, take that step forward. Just say those two words, like, help, please, and get started on that journey. Like, really, really for yourself, because I think so many have given up hope that it can even happen. And so, if you even just have like a tiny little spark left in there of hope, like, we can fan that and make that bigger.
Oh, thank you so much, Marie. You are such a beautiful human and an amazing light worker. And I
Thank
think
you.
what you're doing is incredible. The world needs you right now. And I just wish you every success, whatever it means to you in
Yes.
absolutely every area of your life right now. And thank you for contributing and taking the time out to be with me here today. I've learned so much and I am truly inspired to look into human design and find a bit more about it, because I've kind of just read the basics, but I know that there's so much more to dive into. So I can't wait to see your new website when it's launched, and I'll make sure I join your group as well. So I'm sending you heaps and heaps of love.
Thank you
And
so much.
yeah, if anyone wants to get in touch with Marie, please do. She's absolutely beautiful human, as you can see, and she will be happy to answer any of your questions. So we'll see you next time, and thanks for being with us.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.